Animal Crossing Switches. At the point of filming this video, these things are literally everywhere. We're talking Walmart, Target, Best Buy. At one point, these puppies right here had a resale value of over $700 on Amazon, and now you can hardly walk into a retail store without tripping over one. So the question is, are these systems bricks now, or is there actually a way to still flip them for profit? And that is exactly what I'm gonna answer in this video. So because these systems are in stock at most retail stores right now, it's almost impossible to sell them for over $300, which makes buying them for $300 plus tax a huge waste of time and money. Which is why my strategy with these bad boys is not to sell them for cash, but rather trade them for other inventory that I can use for my resale business that actually is higher in value. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know I do this all the time and it works really well. And the rest of this video is going to be dedicated to exactly how well it works. I'm gonna take you guys along on some of these trades and show you exactly what I'm getting for them and how much value I'm going to be able to profit.
A few moments later.
All right, folks, so I've got my first Animal Crossing Switch trade coming up pretty soon here. Have sifted through a good number of bad offers, but finally had one that was a little bit more intriguing. I'm honestly not sure how it's going to turn out because a good chunk of the deal, maybe around half of it, is Pokemon cards, which I'm not all that well versed in. I know enough to be dangerous. This trade may in some ways be paying for my education. I know bare minimum I'm going to make a profit. I just don't know how much. So why don't you come along with me? We'll do the pickup and maybe you can judge for yourself. Oh, all right, just like some bulk cards and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play, and this is older and newer stuff, okay? So,
okay.
Found this, I forgot I had that.
Okay.
Those are the sealed games I have. That was not sealed. Here, she is. I put a couple of alcohol wipes in there just in case you wanted to clean her.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good.
And then, okay, so here's this binder.
So I could give you 50 bucks for what's in this bag if you want.
Take it.
Alrighty. This is a gorgeous system.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I can take a look at some of those and see if I can offer you something for them. I'd like to give you something if I can. How is 25 on this stack? Is that all right?
Perfectly fine. That's great.
I like the people that I buy from to be happy with the deals they're getting. Alrighty, so here is everything laid out from my first Switch trade deal. Ended up being a pretty good haul, especially because he brought some extras along to see if I wanted to make a cash offer on it. So I was able to squeeze a little bit more profit out of the deal that way, which is always exciting. I always like to use these trade meetups as an opportunity to just network a little bit and potentially make a larger deal than we had originally said. So the first two items that he had brought up for trade were this 2DS XL Pikachu edition. Definitely look out for these. They're worth much more than the regular XLs right now. I'll be able to get, I would say, pretty safely $250 for this on Amazon. Granted, all the prices that I'm going to be giving here are Amazon numbers, not eBay. I sell on Amazon because you can generally get more for video game stuff on there, even though there are more fees that you have to pay. So 250 bucks for this. It's in excellent shape. And then also, this was the other thing that I requested from the pics that he sent me. It's this really nice Nika Alien and Batman figure set that should go for over $100 plus shipping on eBay. So I've got my money back and then some just in those two items. I'm like slightly into the profit. Then he also threw in some of these games here, which don't look like they're worth much, except that these 3 are sealed, which is really nice. This one's not sealed, it's worth almost nothing, and even sealed, Triforce Heroes is worth almost nothing. But all told, they should bring around $60 in profit. So on the Switch itself, I'm into the profit around $60 before looking at all of these bulk Pokemon cards, as well as these ones, which I will give you guys a little bit better of a look at as well. The extras of the deal were these PS4 games here. He's a super nice guy. He actually wanted to just give these to me because he hasn't been using them. He said they were collecting dust, but I gave him 25 bucks for the lot and should be able to double that up fairly quick. And then also he said for me to make an offer on this stuff that he has. It's still new in the package. We've got a dark blue DualShock 4 controller, as well as this Sega Genesis Mini, which is pretty nice to see. I offered him $50 for these 3 items and should be able to double it. This is all really quick moving stuff, so I was happy to pay up a little bit for that. So that puts us at a total projected profit so far on the deal as a whole, not just for the Switch trade, but on the whole at $135. Before we go into this Pokemon card lot, which I was pretty excited to see. I like dealing in Pokemon cards, even though they are a bit more work. So I just recently went through this and looked up all the cards that kind of caught my eye. Some of the older ones, there are only a few older ones in here. So if you're ever looking for lots on your own, one of the biggest things to look for is these. Rainbow rares are usually always at least worth a few bucks. Also, full art cards, the ones that are a little bit more textured like this, tend to bring a little bit more money. But anyway, I went through this whole binder, looked up values. You can see there are a few Charizard cards in here as well. Those are the other ones that you always want to look up because they tend to hold more value, especially when they're graded. And I'll talk a little bit about my plans for that as well. Yeah, getting to the end. There are a solid number of cards in here. I did want to at least give you guys a look. There are 3 more Charizards there. At least give you a look at everything that was in here. Here's the list that I ended up making of the ones that did have at least $10 in value, which I would maybe throw on eBay, although some of the $10 ones I may end up just selling to the bulk buyer that I normally will sell this kind of stuff to, which is trollandtoad.com. They're a wholesaler, an online wholesaler, and they normally pay like 50 to 60% of retail value on stuff. So the stuff that I don't want to take the time to list individually, I'll just throw into a spreadsheet and send to them. But anyway, total calculated value of only these like 20 or so cards, if I did not grade them, would be $210, which leaves probably like 90% of the rest of the cards in here to send in to Troll and Toad. I'd say very safely, we're looking at another like $60 from that when I send those into them. Plus whatever the heck I get for this shoebox full of bulk cards. So I'll probably have to count these and then send them in as well. So yeah, Pokemon cards are definitely more work than I like to do on deals normally, but they're so cool and so fun to deal with. And very conservatively on those cards, we're looking at least $300 in value between what I piece out and what I send into Troll and Toad. And some of these Charizards, I looked up like their graded values in PSA 9 or 10 because some of them are in really nice shape. They took great care of their cards. If they came back a PSA 10, would go for in the $170 to $270 range. So I think I actually may roll the dice with some of those and potentially exponentially increase my return on these cards. If I do that, I will let you guys know in a video at a later point, but I think we can mark this first trade as a huge success because it ended up being more than a double up once all this stuff sells. All right, folks, Animal Crossing Switch trade number 2 is about to go down. This deal has a decent number of consoles that don't have the cord, so they're gonna be untested, but I have a feeling that the games are going to more than make up for it, so let's go check that one out and see what the heck we get. All right, here we go. Hey, how are you? Are you Chris? Good to meet you, I'm Caleb. I'll open my trunk here, and if you want to plop that in there. Here's this, you're welcome to test out and everything if you want.
I'll just let you have the crate if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So it's a lot easier.
Is that everything in there?
Yeah.
Cool.
All of the games are in here. I put them in the case.
Okay.
They're not specific, but everything's in there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all the stickers.
That's all right.
Because whenever I was a kid.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Sticker bomb everything. But Yeah.
Alrighty, well thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Thank you. Alrighty, here is what we picked up in Animal Crossing Switch trade number 2. A pretty solid lot and good variety here. I love seeing all of the Nintendo stuff. I think we'll start over here with the SP. I honestly didn't see a couple of these GBA titles in here. The SP does have some stickers and stuff on it, so that's going to take a little bit of work. I'm going to count that as acceptable condition and only value it at like maybe 80 bucks. But I did test it and it works, and Fire Red and Leaf Green are authentic, so those are awesome to see. We did have a mystery cartridge here. You guys want to find out with me what that is? Well, can't say it's what I was hoping for. All right, moving right along, then we have the 64 bundle. This is tested and working, and it has a really nice OEM jungle green controller with it. Nice stick and everything, so that is a really good bonus. And then for the games, we've got a bunch of meh stuff right here, a decent Game Shark, but what really sealed it for me, and when he sent a picture of this, I got kind of excited, is Conker's Bad Fur Day, because I've been reselling video games for 2 years now, have never found this game. I've always known it holds really good value. This is worth about $80 right now, so I'm really excited to find it. I'm not gonna keep it or play it or anything, but that was a really solid part of the deal. So this whole lot here is worth around $210 after fees. Then we've got a Super Nintendo, which I'm honestly not even factoring into the value because sounds like a maraca. It's very possible that it will work. These systems are pretty hardy, but at least it needs to be taken apart and cleaned, and whatever heck that is in there, maybe a Cheez-It or something needs to get taken out. I think the only valuable games are the Mario All-Stars and the Mario World, so those are about 10 bucks each or so. Then we've got this Sega lot. This was actually the last thing that he messaged me that made me say, okay, even though I don't know if the Super Nintendo works and I know the GameCube doesn't work, this is, well, he said it was in working condition. I need to actually buy a power supply for it. It has a nice green controller with it as well. The games do leave a little bit to be desired, to be honest. This is like a $20 game. This is like maybe 8 bucks, and the rest of this is just bundle fodder on eBay. But then we're finishing off strong with the GameCube games and accessories. We've got a nice condition Wavebird, does need a little bit of a scrub. Resident Evil Original, I thought would be worth more. It's really only worth like 10 bucks, but at least it is complete with the manual and both discs. Mario Party 4 is not complete. At least it does have the case, but it does have an extra disc in here, which is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which I forgot to look up, so let me do that real quick. Okay, turns out it's not worth much at all, maybe a few bucks, but this game is worth around 80, so I will take that any day. And on the whole, the lot actually is worth around $670, so for a $300 or technically a little bit over $300 investment after tax, I will definitely take that. All right, folks, our third and final Animal Crossing Switch trade of the video just went down, and honestly, it's one of the weirder ones that I have come across, but nonetheless, I'm really excited to show you guys. I didn't end up filming the pickup itself because it ended up being pretty dark out and the footage would not have been exciting at all, but here is everything that I managed to pick up. So right off the bat here, you can see that we've got a good number of systems. We've got the fat PS2, slim PS2, a couple of Wii systems, which I haven't checked for games yet. I don't think I'll find anything in there. We do have the extra controller with the slim, which is nice. And then as well as a GameCube and controller, which the stick will have to be replaced. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a little bit chewed up on the bottom there, which is unfortunate. 5 Animal Crossing memory cards, which is kind of unfortunate. I didn't get these a few months ago. Right now they're going for around like maybe 10 bucks after fees and shipping for them. So not bad to find. Then these GBA link cables for the GameCube. People, don't sleep on accessories. I buy and sell so many game system accessories you would not believe. These things after fees and shipping will give me $30 a piece. I didn't even realize they'd be in this lot, so those were some really nice bonuses. Then moving on down here, we have a decent number of games. You may notice looking at some of these titles that none of them are really worth all that much. I think that he actually may have sold a decent number of the higher end titles to someone else in a different deal, which definitely is a bummer, but you know, I'll take the leftovers because there's some decent stuff here, especially because all of this is in really good shape. Most of this, you can see all of them have the case, most of them have the manual as well, which means that, you know, on a game like this, when normally I might only be able to get like, you know, a couple bucks after fees and shipping, if it's complete with the manual, I might be able to get like closer to 5 or 7. One of the cooler GameCube games that I saw in this lot was PK Out of the Shadows. I just think the idea of a Donald Duck like cartoon art style game is just really intriguing. If I was a GameCube guy, I would definitely play that. But then in the PlayStation 1 games, there actually was one title, see if you guys can spot it, that did have some value. Ended up being this one right here, Rogue Trip. Is apparently like a $30 game after fees, maybe a little bit more since it's complete, but that was definitely a surprise to me. Not a ton of value in the rest of these. Then don't get too excited about the PSPs here. They both have issues. One of them has like a dry battery basically, and the other one has a splotchy screen and also is missing this little thing. So not gonna be able to sell these in like very good working condition, but I still factored in like 25 bucks a piece, which I think is pretty conservative given that they both do still work. They just have issues. And then finally, this is where this lot gets a little bit weird. This is what I was hinting at earlier. We've got a Pelican third-party GameCube controller that is still new in the package. I only factored in about 25 bucks value for that, even though there's a sold at 45. They just don't sell all that often, so I may have to undercut a little bit. Then we have 4 Mad Catz memory cards here that are also brand new and sealed. These are worth maybe like 10 bucks a piece or so. We also have Animal Crossing City Folk for the Wii, and then the weirdest part of this whole deal, we have over 20 GameCube memory cards in here. Most of them, unfortunately, are Mad Catz. They're not first party. But the story behind all of this is apparently this guy's father, who I think spent a lot of time at home, loved Animal Crossing on the GameCube and Wii, and he just burned through memory cards. The guy told me that each one of these memory cards represents around 200 to 300 hours worth put into an Animal Crossing island. So it was very appropriate that what I traded him in return was an Animal Crossing Edition Switch, because this right here is a whole lot of islands. But anyways, more importantly, the total calculated estimated value of this lot really surprised me. These memory cards, when I lot them up, should be worth around $5 a piece. And given that there are about 20 in here, that's $100 right here alone. I only factored in like 2 or 3 bucks a piece for these games, even though that's really conservative. I wanted to be safe on that and just didn't want to tally them all up individually. But the total estimated value for this stuff after fees and shipping was around $775, which really blew my mind. I really thought it was gonna be closer to 6, but I'm telling you folks, the accessories really added up, so don't sleep on those when you're estimating values of collections or trades. One thing I did want to say was kind of interesting about this deal here is I got to talking to the guy and he was like, man, it's so weird. I keep seeing all of these posts with brand new Nintendo Switches by people looking to trade for people's old game collections. Do you know what's up with that? I was like, that's quite the strange coincidence. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. It really does mean a ton to me. And I will catch you guys. Let's see if I can capture this whole flight. On the flip.